The FemBioBiz Acceleration Program is back for Season 2, and the search is on for female innovators to stake their claim for $250,000 worth of prizes. In this episode, we're up north in Zambia, where women are responsible for over 50% of all the small and medium enterprises operating in the country's economy. This statistic gives a clear indication of the importance to the economic growth and the future development of the country. Qualifying for Phase 2 of the FemBioBiz competition in Zambia were 8 entrepreneurs and 4 students who were selected to pitch their innovative ideas to our jury of industry leaders and investors. Only 4 of the pitchers will be selected to represent Zambia at the final of the competition to be held at the SA Innovation Summit in South Africa. Here to test the strengths and weaknesses of their presentations are our judging panel of 7 industry professionals. Introducing Rodney Malindi Sukumba, managing partner at Halt Investments and a commercially savvy business owner and strategist. Ngosabalwa is the founder of Altus Financial Services. With skills in accounting, she has a strong drive to assist female entrepreneurs to succeed. Dr. Chitundu Kasase is the CEO of the National Technology Business Center and has an excellent understanding and insight into Zambia's agribusiness. Tawonga Piri, who heads up the corporate PR division for Total Zambia, provides a valuable interface with all stakeholders. Meet Dr. Luke Mugode, the highly qualified head of the Nutrition and Dietetic Food Technology Department at Apex Medical University. Trevor Hambai is an entrepreneur representing Development Finance Associates and brings some financial perspectives to the panel. Andrew Chiselebwe, Head of Business Development at Professional Insurance Zambia Limited, who have generously contributed travel insurance for the winners. The competition was tough, with some very innovative products and ideas being pitched by our Zambian female entrepreneurs and students. Congratulations to those who made it through to Phase 2 of the Acceleration Program. Please welcome Abigail Kavita, who has developed a handkerchief and a face mask impregnated with an anti-TB drug. Will the panel have a sniff of her success?
My name is Abigail Kavita. I'm a B Pharmacy student at the University of Zambia who has a strong passion for the prevention of TB. And that is why in my innovation, I am coming up with a better method of preventing the spread of TB by using a medicated mask and a handkerchief. Imagine if you cough through tissues and the droplets of the mycobacterium are still remaining in the hands, hence increasing the rate at which the spread of TB is in the society. And the masks are going to be worn over the mouth, like from the health workers who are taking care of TB patients, and also for the patients who are not in isolated wards, because not all the patients are isolated. I am looking for a total of 350,000 kwacha for research and development up to the proof of concept. But for the masks that I'm innovating, they're going to be made of a super starch absorbent polymer, which will be able to trap the bacteria. And not only will it trap it, it will be able to inactivate it because the drug is incorporated in the drug.
Let's say thank you. Congratulations for a very good pitch that you have made. It's a good product, a product that is much needed in our community. I wanted to find out how far are you with research? Do you have an actual prototype? How much do you see this selling for, and how did you arrive at your 350,000 investment cost?
I have only researched on the absorptive capacity of the polymer in comparison to what is being used right now. And also the research has been done for the drug being able to inactivate the bacteria outside the body. But I haven't come up with an actual prototype. That is why I'm asking for an investment of 350,000 kwacha, which will cater for R&D up to proof of concept. So it is broken down into the laboratory equipment that I may need. I'll work with my university and some lecturers. I'll also need because I'll use guinea pigs as experimental animals. I will also need to hire machines from pharmaceutical companies, and also just some legalities, because you cannot do any trial on animals without legal consent.
Thank you for the presentation, Abigail. One question, or two questions in one. Is the mask single use? And how do you justify your costing of 0.35 kwacha? 75 kwacha, sorry.
Yes. So it is, you only get rid of it once it gets clogged. It's something that's reusable, because for the health workers, they don't stay in the wards for a long time. So as you're handling the patients, you use it, and after that it's reusable, but not after a period where it gets dirty. It's just up to how you're seeing it. If it gets clogged with the sputum, of course, when you're coughing, or after it gets dirty. But then the drug is able to be active even over a period of 1 week. Even after you dispose it, it's still dirty, but the drug is still active there.
Do our investors have an insight into her vision for a healthier continent? Let's hear about the progress of innovation in Zambia.
Zambia has an immense pool of what I may call innovators. So these are individuals with creative, innovative ideas. They include entrepreneurs, it could be researchers, it could be students, mostly in higher education, that in their normal daily lives, they are finding challenges, and they are responding to those challenges by coming up with solutions. So if you scan the landscape of Zambia, you'll be amazed at the level of innovations that are available.
Muzalema Mwanza is the founder of Safe Motherhood Alliance, who has developed a low-cost delivery kit for pregnant women to provide safer deliveries. Will the panel help her to help other women?
We're a social enterprise that is involved in sexual and reproductive health care designed for Africa. Meet Sarah. Sarah's 8 months pregnant, and in a couple of weeks' time, a traditional birth attendant will cut her umbilical cord with a rusty blade and apply toothpaste for quick healing. For Sarah and her baby, there is no such thing as a routine pregnancy. Every year, 300,000 women and 2.7 million babies die during the brief window period between delivery of a baby and a baby's first month. Our solution is a Popapila Mama Kit. This is a safe, low-cost kit that is able to be used by women at a point of a delivery. It's sterile, economical, and it includes biodegradable banana pads, helping us reduce the cost of a kit. We've been able to create alternative livelihoods and income opportunities for over 500 women, helping them to come out of poverty. We're asking for $50,000 to assemble 1,000 kits to reach 1,000 pregnant women, and a strategic partner to help us to train 100 traditional birth attendants. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. My question is, how sustainable is this business model when government, well, my employers,
We have what we're calling universal coverage as far as maternal and child health is concerned. Since we are targeting, I think, primarily, rural birth attendants and that kind of market. And then secondly, what's the price for one kit?
Thank you for those questions. So we are talking to government at the moment to become an accredited provider for them in maternal health care with the pregnancy kit. So one kit at the moment retails for 75 kwacha. We are looking for investment to be able to bring it down to 50 kwacha. This will enable us to also sell more kits. We use a sustainable business model. So we're not only looking at government to be buyers, although they will be able to buy in bulk. At the moment, we sell these through pharmacies, chemists, and traditional birth attendants. And we also sell directly to pregnant mothers. At the moment, this is where most of our reach is, as 70% of all the births are happening in the hospitals. We go directly to the women during the health talks, during antenatal visits.
We know for a fact that most of the stuff that you put in the pack is you buy it from a wholesale, maybe in Freedom or whichever way. That in itself it makes the whole pack expensive. What is it that you're going to do to really reduce the cost of that particular pack?
So currently what we're doing is we are looking at ways of being able to manufacture some of the stuff in the kit locally. The first thing that we tackled was the sanitary pads, because this proved to be one of the most expensive items in the kit. So what we've done is we're working with local farmers to be able to make a biodegradable banana sanitary pad. This is made from the waste material that is thrown away after bananas have been harvested. We're looking at prototype. We've already talked to Zabs about it. We've had the product tested to be able to see the absorption rate.
Muzalema certainly has the credentials and innovative ideas to get their attention. But what about her networking capabilities?
I think what is very key as a startup is to really start with your networking first. And why it's very key to start with your networks is because therein will you find your anchor customer for the product or service that you're trying to offer. So without that network, you're unable to sell anything. So I think your starting point should be your network. I'm of the idea that your network, or I'm a firm believer rather, that your network is your net worth. Without that, there's pretty much nothing that you can do.
Next up is Godfrida Masaiti from Zambia's School of Medicine. Her innovation is a transdermal patch which will provide for the administration of antiretroviral drugs. But will our panel see the benefits?
Imagine living a life where you have to take drugs every day. Every day of your life, you have to take this drug. And this is how HIV patients live every day of their lives. That's why I've come up with a product where you have to use a transdermal patch, which releases the drug slowly into the system for about a week. And then I've also come up with another product which uses a subdermal patch, where the drug will be released into your body for as long as a month. Who are my customers? Who am I going to target? The HIV/AIDS patients themselves. I'm going to target the government through the Ministry of Health, and I'm also going to target the pharmaceutical companies that will help me since they're already in the ground. I'm looking for 450,000, and where is this going to go? For my research and development, for me to come up with a prototype. I have to do a proof of concept for me to know what I really need, if this is really going to work out.
Would you have to go for incision every time you are replacing it? And don't you think that would be a disadvantage to the product, especially for the beauty conscious who would, not want to have an incision every time, being made every time?
It's not going to be a big scar. It's just going to be a tube which is going to be body friendly, and you put it under the skin. I don't know if you're able to see that small thing. And then for the subdermal patch to be able to last for as long as a month, since I'm just starting. But in the long run, with the help of other people, the other scientists, I'll be able to do it even for as good as 3 months.
Godfrida, I'm very fascinated with your idea. And I think with the tests and everything else, the R&D obviously is for the next level. But I think what you need to really pay attention to is, we know the drugs are given out for free, and the like. So what you really need to hit on is compliance to ART, which is very, very key. So you may need to come up with that information to know exactly how many patients are not adhering to treatment, and then you come up with this brilliant idea to say, look, the only reason why they're not adhering to treatment is because there's the issue of stigma, they forget, and the like. But if you're going to be doing it only once a week, or is it 3 months, then it really gives it that oomph to say, look, I can just plug it in. I'm not female, but I know that there's implants that we put nowadays for family planning, but that's pretty much that we need to look at. Sit down with most of these organizations that actually deal with track ART, and then they'll be able to tell you how many people follow or who adhere to it and everything else.
After absorbing Godfrida's innovation, how will the FemBioBiz program be perceived in the Zambian biospace?
The FemBio business, I think, positions We Create very well in the Zambian market. This is a program that has received a lot of attention because it's also driving, the agenda to try and get as many women as possible participate in science, technology, and innovation. And so it gives us an opportunity to connect with various partners within the ecosystem, including government agencies, private sector organizations that are working in that space. And it also gives us the opportunity to support businesses in that area to address some of the daunting challenges that Africa is facing currently, which are so much related to health and nutrition.
The next contestant is Sara Nguyen, whose company stores and distributes grain products for thousands of small-scale farmers, as well as adding value by producing edible oils. Will the panel find her idea both nutritious and profitable?
We are a processing company. We process edible oils and its byproducts from soybeans. Why we are here is that we are looking for 5 million to invest into buying of processing plant and also the grading machine, soybeans grading machine. We looked at the need in society. We saw that most of the oil companies are richly owned by foreigners, and we were the owners, we were the custodians of the raw material. And so we took that opportunity. We were trained by We Create, and what you have before you is the product of the training that we underwent. Up to date, we made a profit of 500,000. And when you look at where we've come from and where we are now and where we are going, you realize that this project is very viable, and it poses a challenge to those that are on the market.
Hello, Sarah. For me, my question is just that I just need to understand your position compared to your competition on the market now. What's your market share? And like for the amount that you're asking, how much market share do you think you'll capture?
Okay. The market share that we are anticipating to capture will be like 51%. Why I'm telling you this is that if we get what we need now to run this business, it means that most of these guys that you see, they don't have outgrower systems. For us, we have 5,000 farmers who are growing the raw product. And so those guys, we used to supply them. We were the source where they were getting the commodity. Now that we are processing, they're having a challenge.
Sarah, what are these warehouse costs?
Okay. When we produce our seed in the raw area, there are no warehouses. So we are forced to come and store up our seed in Lusaka. So the warehouses are not ours. We need to hire. So that's the amount we pay for stocking up the product, the raw material.
Having seen the benefits of the seed business in Zambia, what do the experts think of entrepreneurship for the future of Zambia's economy?
I actually believe entrepreneurs are the engine of the Zambian economy. After setting up Altus Financial Services, I've had the privilege of actually interacting with a lot of these entrepreneurs. And it's amazing to hear their stories and some of the things that they're actually doing. They're the people who are creating jobs in the real sense, in that they will employ people on the number of contracts that they have to service or whatever. So I believe entrepreneurs are the engine for the growth and diversification of the Zambian economy. And I'm proud to say that we are making a difference as a business.
Winifred Nachi Vula is the founder of Nazia Investments Limited, a food manufacturing company specializing in the use of local ingredients to produce local products and tastes for a range of supermarkets.
Our company is an agro-processing company that specializes in production and supply of our traditional local Zambian foods. Because cassava is a crop that you can use from the leaf up to the root. The whole plant is something that we use in our processing. Down the line, we've actually introduced 10 lines of products of our products. And these are all organic, and they're all locally sourced and locally produced. And right now, I'd say we are asking for 1 million kwacha because we want to increase our products, the capacity of production. We've already created a demand on the market, but we are unable to meet this demand because already our products, you find them in the chain stores such as game stores, Food Lovers, Melissa, as well as other outlets.
When did you introduce the cassava leaves, the frozen product line, and how is that going in the market?
First introduced it in 2015, and we've seen growth, and there is a demand. Because initially, I only started with one store, and that was game stores. But since then, we've spread out in most of the supermarkets, and the volumes have also increased.
Winifreda, thank you. I would like to commend you for your innovation, especially in value addition. However, my concern is on the nutritional labeling, and I'm quite not sure whether you have the technical expertise or a team members that were really able to evaluate and see whether this is correct. Because these are groundnuts, and groundnuts is one of the raw materials that has got a lot of oil. But I see here you have 0.6 grams, and you have a high amount of proteins.
On groundnuts, like the type that you're holding there, it's Natal common. And deliberately, we've picked on that groundnut. Although that's not the way you asked, but maybe I just want to explain a bit more. Because there's been all this talk about the aflatoxin levels that are found in groundnuts. But with the background and the research which we did, we are able to identify which nut is best for us to be using, so that that has got that's got less aflatoxin in its in the nut. So the Natal common, that's the one we've deliberately picked, and we make sure that this is the nut that we use all the time. Because you find that there are some customers actually who've come to us before they buy the product, when we've done promotions, and then they would ask, what nut are you using? Because they have maybe their children, they react to any other nut.
Having sampled her product line, will our panel buy into Winifred's basket? What other opportunities are there for entrepreneurs in Zambia?
I just want to encourage the entrepreneurs out there that, they must take ownership of driving, enterprise in Zambia. There is so much opportunity, I'll take, for example, we cannot import cornflakes when we have a bumper harvest of maize all the time. So what are the entrepreneurs doing to process the maize, add value to it? We can locally produce cornflakes. I mean, things like mango juice. We can come up with the concentrates in Zambia. We have so many pineapples in Mwinilunga. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for SMEs out there. They need to wake up, seek the financing, pursue equity partnership, loans or anything. But I think the world is out there for them, ready for them.
All the pitches have been presented, and after intense discussion and debate, the judges have made their decision in selecting the final 4 to present their pitches at the SA Innovation Summit. Watch our next episode as the search for innovative African solutions continues.